This video is brought to you by Scopic.com. Get yours now.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is fullphonekey.com. This is the Acer Liquid X2. Well, it's not exactly an extraordinary phone, except for the fact that it accepts 3 SIM cards in one device. Now, you've seen a lot of dual SIM phones, but triple SIM, that's very new. Well, it's not exactly the very first phone to support triple SIM. There has been a handful of others. LG and Samsung has been launching some in Brazil, which is one of the very few countries that triple SIMs are being sold. So this guy right here is sold in very limited regions, rather say. Hong Kong, Philippines, Thailand, and there are some others, Malaysia, Indonesia, I forgot the rest of the few. Anyway, there are very limited markets available, and it's not that expensive. It's around 300 bucks in local currencies, and if you're lucky, you should be able to get it cheaper since it's almost a year old. It's about 7-8 months old. So inside the packaging, we have a little charger here. Well, let me just take out all of them. All right, so here we have, let's start with what you have on the top. So this is a pair of earphones right there. It's a in-ear kind of type. I presume that the sound quality is not exactly going to be great. Here's the charger. That's pretty much generic. It's just 5.2 volts at 1.35 amps. So no fast charging there. The MediaTek processor right there is not known to support any quick charges, so that I think is pretty much given. There's a micro USB cable, not the USB Type-C, but again, this is a bit old device. I was busy not to cover that when it was first launched. Anyway, here's a manual, quick safety information, and a quick guide, and you can pretty much see some of the reasons that it's being sold. And here is a rechargeable battery, definitely. 4020 milliamps, and this is definitely one of the very few devices with this much of battery capacity and still being replaceable. And here is a freebie. This is a wallet case. This is a wallet flip case that you can pull out the back cover and install this instead. And here you will have a little control with the little window on the front right there. Here is the phone itself, Liquid X2. Some basic features are written on top of it. 5.5 inches of a HD display, not a high resolution at that size. 13 megapixels and 13 megapixels of a f1.8 camera, and both of the camera, front and back, are supported with the autofocus. There's a very niche function that are only in some HTC devices like HTC 10, Desire I, and of course the Galaxy S8 and the S Pluses, but this is included with the autofocus. Octa-core processor, that's a MediaTek MT6753. That's a very popular one. 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of storage, and that's pretty much it. And let's open this up from the packaging. And let's go ahead with the protective plastic right there. And here we go with the phone. It's not exactly a small phone. With 5.5 inches, that is a bezel a tad thicker than most of the phones right there. Quickly hovering over to the rear side gives a 13 megapixel camera, LED flash, Acer logo, DTS HD, and this also supports 24-bit 192 kilohertz of audio along with FM radio built in, and that is a speaker. We can remove the back panel and start by installing the battery right there. Before we move on, we have glorious 3 SIM cards, SIM 1, SIM 2, and SIM 3, in which microSD slot is a standalone slot, not shared or hybrid like most of the phones. So 3 SIM cards and 1 microSD, dedicated microSD card slot. So putting that back on gives us the rest of the phone. Power key right there, volume rocker, earphone jack is on the top. Unfortunately, microphone, secondary microphone. Left side does not have anything. Bottom is a micro USB port with the microphone right there. And that's pretty much it. Front side looks like this. Let's power that on while looking at the front side. There is also a front LED flash and some sensors, speaker, front-facing camera, Acer logo. Phone, the buttons are built in as a soft key, and that's a pretty clean and sleek look, I should say. And now that it's done powering up, let's go ahead with the settings. Great, so here we are at the launcher, and this is an Acer user interface, which does not seem too far off from the stock Android, and this is how the settings app look like. It's running Android 5.1, not really sure if it has any updates after that. Acer really isn't known to give updates better than any others, so I don't really have that much hope on that. So there are Google apps, some Acer apps, Acer Portal, AB files. I don't know what they do, but we'll figure that out. And we can get into the settings. So that is a quick toggle more, and yep, there's a volume, there's a brightness slider there. We can, no double sliding, you have to tap more for that. We can get into the SIM cards menu, which is the most important part, SIM slot 1, 2, and 3, and you can dedicate mobile data, calls, and SMS messages for each of the SIM cards, or you can make them to ask you every time you place a call or send a text message. Just in case, this is a 4G plus 2G phone, so if you're living in an area without the 2G services anymore, like Japan and Korea never had them, and in Singapore and Australia, they cut down the 2G network, and they are going to do that in more and more areas. So you might want to make sure if your local area does have the 2G network still alive. So that was the Acer Liquid X2, one of the very few triple SIM card phones and pretty much the top-notch triple SIM phone available out there. There is Coolpad one, Coolpad Mega 3, that is only available in India. So you might want to check that out too if you want this 3 SIM card enabled phone. Thank you always for watching. You can always meet us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. And if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments and we'll see you guys later. Till then, ciao.